Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Second. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland! This is for you!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Block, The Shot, The Stop, a Cleveland Cavalier podcast brought to you by the Blue Air Podcast Network, where obviously we discuss the now 8-0 Cleveland Cavaliers. And tonight, it's a Monday night. It's the beautiful night. It's the day before the world ends. And I did want to spend my last time as a happy human being with my two dudes, Kevin Lynch, Skylar Webker, and boys, the Cavs win yet another one. We lose our prop bet on a last-second heave.
They couldn't let me have that.
I mean, they just couldn't let us have it. We would have been 5-3. Would have been in good shape. Yep. But no. Now, is it my turn? It's my turn to try to see if I can keep it alive against the Orleans on Wednesday. But you know, and they don't have anybody right now except for like Zion, and he didn't play yesterday, so who knows if he's going to play in a couple weeks. I mean, if he's going to play Wednesday. But man, what another barn-burning, down-to-the-wire game against Milwaukee where I'm not going to lie to you. I thought in the third quarter, I thought they were going to lose. The fact that they just completely went, like, they couldn't hit a thing. And the offense looked all out of sorts. Thankfully, Milwaukee was also missing a bunch of shots. Mm-hmm. But I really thought this was going to be the first time we to go in here for a regular season game and be like, well, it just wasn't their night. And the fourth quarter, they just locked down on defense, and they were so good. And on the defensive side, and Jarrett Allen was some plays. And once again, thankfully, we're still here talking about an undefeated Cavs team. And boys, Kevin, I'll start with you. Your biggest takeaway from tonight's yet another thriller against the Bucks, where Bobby Portis did his thing tonight.
Yeah. I think my broader picture, this team continues to respond to adversity. You know, they're down Dean Wade and LeVert tonight again. You know, some more guys had to play at the bench. Okoro had to start. That kind of moves Niang and Merrill's minutes up into the rotation. And they just kept responding. And the other thing kind of to go along with that resiliency is they play however they need to play to win. Like in the first half, they scored over 70 points in the first half. They were a juggernaut offensively. In the second half, the third quarter might have been their worst offensive quarter of the year. I think they only scored 16 points, looked really bad. But as you said, they kept plugging away, you know, buckling down on defense, and they just continue to find a way.
Yeah, man, it's the things like that would just make you tell you just that's what good teams do. They find a way, and no matter how things are going, they regroup and they put them behind them. Skylar, I'll bring you into the conversation, and I think one of the things that really jumped out was after the first time out in the fourth quarter, Sabrina Winters is talking about how Garland pulled Mitchell aside and said, "Hey, man, we need you now. Like you've got to like lock in. This is your time." And he had some moments, don't get me wrong, but really it was kind of, once again, like the bigs that kind of carried it. But seeing that Donovan Mitchell, who we all have talked about so much, is like all NBA, all-star, potential MVP candidate, having guys go to him and not be afraid to say, dude, we need you here. It's a pretty awesome thing, especially for a guy like Darius Garland, who all you heard all offseason was he doesn't want to play with Mitchell, and you know they can't play together. And he was, and like everything, all of that was a lie, obviously. So for that was like a really, really cool thing to see.
Yeah, I mean I think that goes with what this team is built upon, and continuity. You know, you don't get that when you first get Donovan Mitchell here. You know, but after a year, 2 years, now we're in the third year of playing with Donovan Mitchell. You can see how these guys know how to talk to each other. They know how to communicate to each other. They know how to play with each other. So big risk by not bringing in anybody else from Colby Altman, paying off tremendously right now. This is the second time in franchise history that they're starting the season 8-0.
Could he potentially win Executive of the Year without making a move?
I mean, it's looking like it.
Oh man, I joke about that. Obviously, I joke a lot about postseason awards this early, but all joking aside, so let's kind of go through a couple things in the game here. Just kind of talk about some stuff before we get ready for New Orleans on Wednesday. Obviously, no Giannis on the Bucks side of things, but we know where the conversation starts tonight, guys. It's pretty easy. It's number 10 again. 39 and 8 tonight. 7 of 11 from 3 was just awesome, man. It was so good. And we talk each and every episode about how we don't know who in the East is playing better center than Jarrett Allen. Can you guys name? I mean, Lillard had a better game probably Saturday night, but can you name a couple point guards right now playing better than Darius Garland? Like, he's been better than Maxey so far this year. He's been better than Halliburton.
Yeah,
in the East for sure.
Yeah,
I still think Steph Curry's having such a quietly great year.
Yes, he is. He's having a great night too.
I haven't checked their box score.
Yeah. Garland's really, his only issue this year has been staying on the floor. He's just been in foul trouble, kind of a, unreasonable amount for him. But when he's been on the floor, you're right, he's been really good. And I was actually digging into some numbers because looking at halftime versus the end of the game box score. If you had to guess, Mobley, Allen, and Mitchell, how many points they combined for in the second half? How many of the three of them combined for? What would you say?
18.
Skylar?
22.
8. The three of them only had 8 points combined in the second half. And I say that to just kind of show you how much Garland really did carry them. And it's not like anybody they got good contributions from the bench, but nobody on the bench went crazy either. This was a Darius Garland game where he really did put the team on his back and just, took him to another victory.
His, I might be a broken record here because I think I've said this in an episode last week. But I do really think more and more having him come back was probably the best acquisition this team could get. Having him tap into realistically, he's been better than his All-Star season. He really
statistically,
has.
He's been better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously the team's much better and that helps out for sure. But just kind of what he is able to do, just having the understanding of seeing that, okay, this isn't Mitchell's night. And Allen, had some great moments, but okay, I need to step up here. We're down George. We're down Caris. I got to make sure I take care of things. So 39 points is awesome. You take that any day of the week. The shooting was great. Still managing to put that at 8 assists in a game. I think that's the piece that was missing from him, is becoming that next level playmaker. And it's been really, really fun to kind of just see him taking that step, because this team obviously has been really good. We've talked about that day in and day out, but what he's been able to do to kind of grasp and say, this is my offense. You saw that a lot tonight with his ability to play make on top of his scoring.
No doubt. If you look at the box score, or without looking at the box score, who would you say had a better night? Damian Lillard or Darius Garland?
Garland.
Yeah, I'd say they're the best two players in the game, but Garland will get the edge.
Yeah, Garland with 39 points, a +7 and +-. Dame with only a +3 at 36 points, mainly because Dame turns the ball over way more.
Yeah. Other underrated thing about Garland's game.
Yeah.
Only 2 turnovers.
No, for sure. And Garland was definitely the star tonight. I did want to talk about one guy we've talked about, but not a ton on the podcast, is Sam Merrill. And the last couple of games, he has had to step up even a little bit more. I mean, really, he's been good all season. I was just looking up. He's shooting just a tick over 40% from 3, which is kind of his calling card. I was reading some numbers today about how much his defense has actually improved. He apparently, I didn't know this, but he led the league in charges last year. For a guy who was only playing maybe 15 minutes a game, that's saying something. But really, really impressed with him. The consistency he's had game to game and his ability to step up the last couple of games when they've been a little bit shorthanded.
Yeah, Merrill's been great. And like you mentioned, the shooting. I'm really impressed by the rebounding ability for sure. I had 5 of them tonight off the bench, and he's a guy who's really taken full advantage when it's become his time. Him him and Jerome, I think throughout the year have been. I mean, Jerome's been a little up and down the last couple games, but what those two have been able to do as far as being those backup guards to Garland and Mitchell is terrific. It's funny you brought that up. I was looking today at 2-man lineups, and the best mix right now going, I don't know how it is if it updates right after the game, as far as starter and bench player 2-man lineup for the Cavs is Mobley and Merrill.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, their best 2-man is obviously Mitchell and Mobley, and you expect
yeah.
But, dude, okay, can we talk about that for a second? Our Evan Mobley appreciation segment of the show. We have one every episode. First half. Okay. First off, puts Bobby Portis in the spin cycle and goes around and has a dunk where he goes around the rim. Sick. Next possession, blocks a shot and goes coast to coast for another dunk. Even more sick.
3 blocks tonight.
He's the most improved player of the league right now. I don't want to hear about Wemby. Wemby was not very good against Chet Holmgren last week. All right. Like he's gonna have moments. He's gonna be great. We know what he is. And we talk about this all the time. I know, but Evan Mobley 1,000% is the player who's made the biggest jump so far this season from last year to this year. And if you debate that, you're wrong.
You're allowed to have an opinion, but it's wrong.
Right. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. He's taking the step that we all were anticipating for the past couple of years. Like it's arrived. He is taking a step in infecting these games in different manners than what JB Bickerstaff's, rotation or get game planning did before.
No, I agree. I agree with you guys. I mean, the last step for Mobley that I think he's on the cusp on, but hasn't taken yet. Like his play has improved. You can really tell his ball handling, his confidence, all those things really improved. I think the next thing for him to do is to like be that type of player where you can pencil in certain stats every night. Like tonight, he had like 5 rebounds, which is fine. He's a guy who should be getting at least 8 a game. Right. And the blocks have probably been the most consistent part of his game. His scoring's been pretty good, but a little up and down. Like that's the next thing for Mobley is to just continue this level of play just with the consistency to where you know exactly what you can count on him night to night.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Couple highlights. Oh, did you want to say something, Skylar? I'm sorry.
Oh, I know how big of an Isaac Okoro fan Kevin is. He getting the minutes that he did tonight, he really made the most of them. Though the box or like the counting stats wouldn't say so. He led both teams a plus 20 plus minus. Yeah.
It's weird to say, or I don't know, sounds maybe like we're being Homer saying this, that he actually really contributed these 2 games against the Bucks defensively with as big a games as Lillard had. But if you watch the game, that's like just watch the Bucks. Where you watch the game, the Bucks were doing everything they could to get Okoro off of Lillard. And Frank, honestly, like Mitchell or Garland or Merrill or somebody matched up with Lillard, and it was like what they're trying to do every single time down the floor is get Okoro off of him because you could tell they just respected Okoro as a defender and everything. So I am a Isaac Okoro fan. We all are. I just might be a little bit more so. But I think he actually had a really solid kind of back-to-back against Milwaukee.
He really did, man. I think he's just kind of become that 5th guy you could put in any Cavs lineup and you feel comfortable with him no matter what, as long as he's on the floor.
Yeah, he's a type of guy. He contributes every night, but there are certain matchups he can contribute even more that he is really valuable for the Cavs to have to play 20-25 minutes or more.
Yeah.
To me, it's his grit and effort and hustle on every play. I mean, he is the Charlie Hustle of the NBA right now. I mean, every play he's diving and picking splinters out of him, just getting the ball.
Yeah, no, you're right. He made a couple real big hustle plays there in the 4th quarter for sure. I think he like chased down an offensive rebound and saved it that led to a Garland 3. Those type of things that doesn't necessarily show up in the box score, but like just really big winning plays.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just really, really that fun guy. And friendly reminder that dropped to the 5th pick in his draft. But the 5 guys picked against above him are, well, actually, no, one of them was James Wiseman, but that's a story for another time. The other was Patrick Williams.
Oh, yeah.
The other 2 are pretty good though. Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball. They're decent basketball players. So
yeah,
shout out those guys. Couple highlight plays that really stand out that for many of different reasons. The first one obviously is Jarrett Allen going coast to coast. Holy moly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Didn't like everyone in the building was waiting for him to like get rid of it to a guard. And he said, no, this one's all me. Really impressed. Just emphasized his athleticism and his length and everything. Like just really, really impressive. And again, we're talking about like how the Cavs got better, how like individual players improved along with like the scheme and the collaboration of the team. Like, I don't know if that's a play Jarrett Allen makes a year or 2 ago, like going coast to coast and then into a big dunk. Like, I think that's kind of a, product of some of the confidence building.
That's got to be like the most terrifying thing for Taurean Prince to see, a 7-footer coming down the court. With
AJ Green was like, I'm not going to be on
it was AJ Green. Sorry.
Picture.
Yeah. He made a business decision there.
I was cracking up right before the half when Sam Merrill had the open layup and he didn't dunk and the whole bench was giving him down.
Yeah, no, that was fun. I missed that live, but then was saw the replay and it was Austin Carter night, right? I'm sorry, I couldn't listen.
It was Brad.
It was Brad tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Had my daughter, so I was watching but not listening. But yeah, I heard that part and him like kind of calling Merrill out and pointing out the bench. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, Jarrett Allen was interviewed right at the half, and Sabrina Winters is like, I think it's Sabrina Winters. Forgive me that I get her name wrong. I'm sure.
Is.
Okay, she's like, you guys really want to stay on the dunk there? And he goes, yeah, we see it in practice all the time. Why not do it in a game? That's like one of the things that makes this team so fun is how much you could tell they really like playing together and how much they really enjoy each other. That makes it really, really cool to see. They kind of give me, and I don't know if they're going to have the same result, but Kevin, I know you're a guy who pays to the NBA probably just as much as I do. They're kind of giving me 2020 Lakers vibes, better guards for sure. But the way they play defense, the way that they play in transition, and just the fact that they just have this great energy in every night, you can't ever count them out of a game. It just reminds me a lot of that team.
Interesting. That's not one I would have thought of, but I see where you're going with it. Like it almost, if I had to think, like I was doing the same thing. And I know on a previous podcast, I brought up like them being a mismatch of the late 90s, early 2000s San Antonio Spurs. Maybe a generous comparison because it was a decade pretty awesome teams. But and
we do this sober, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was looking around and it's not a great comparison, but like kind of like maybe the early Thunder teams with Durant and Harden and Westbrook, like not exactly the same skill sets, but the same kind of energy, like guys just hitting their prime or on the cusp of their prime. I'm with you. I like that Lakers 2021, but I was thinking more the Thunder. I think that's 2012 Thunder, if I'm not mistaken.
The vibe that I got are the like late 2010s Portland Trailblazers when it was Dame, CJ McCollum,
B-Roy.
Do what?
B-Roy.
B-Roy.
That was after B-Roy, right? Was it B-Roy done?
B-Roy was on the 10 team.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like shortly after that was when it kind of started going downhill.
But yeah, I'm talking like the 16, 17, 18, 19, like that run of the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I'm trying to think of who their center was. It
was Nursic. By the end of it, it was Nursic.
And it was Nursic.
Because Nursic was definitely their center, like in the bubble and the year or two before that.
Yeah, I think maybe it was Valanciunas before Nurkic. I'd have to look.
I don't have that in front of me. Sydney's not here tonight to
to keep us honest.
Yeah. But Yeah, it's just kind of like a whole different vibe. And I think that this team, what they're doing right now, it's hard to not feel like anything's possible with this team right now. You know what I mean? Like, and Kevin and I, before our last episode that we did together, we were talking about potential guys who could be that third big. And Skylar's brought this name up too. And so I'm not going to get into a full, like, what if we get him thing, but I had said Valanciunas to be an option, but Kevin makes a fair point of he doesn't run the floor like these two guys do.
Yeah.
So this Larry Nance thing, the reunion, I think I really like it.
That's a guy
Bring
that
it back, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. You need him. I mean, you can see right now, they wouldn't even need him on a nightly basis. They just need him on certain nights, certain matchups, whether it's foul trouble, guy getting, banged up, has to take a night off. But yeah, I think that's a really good fit. Plus, like, the vibes are so good on this team, as you said. I would want to bring somebody that just comes in and contribute to that versus risk anybody that might take away from it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And like going on that same vein, like I think that's why this Cavs team is so dangerous, is because they're all so young and athletic. There's not a single guy on this team that's,
Tristan Thompson.
Well, yeah, but he comes in a garbage time. He keeps them seats real warm for everybody. Like it's not like the days of like, all right, we gotta like get Shaq up and down the court, or Big Z, or Ben Wallace, or it's these guys are running, up and down both ways, and these young athletic kids, and that's very apparent in these late games against teams like Milwaukee, who are a little long in the tooth. These guys are getting tired, where I think the Cavs are staying fresh.
Yeah, and they're a team before tonight. I think their first 7 games was in 11 days. That's a pretty aggressive streak. And like you said, they looked no worse for wear throughout it. Obviously, it ended up 7-0 and looked, like you said, Skylar, totally agree, pretty fresh through the whole thing.
They're fun, man, and it's just like I was talking about this today with somebody. They're asking about the show and how things are going, and I was like, man, you almost run out of ways to say they're really good and they're really awesome, but you're happy to do it.
Well, I got a little bit of a rant that's going to end with a question for you all. Like, so give me 30 seconds. I wasn't on the show Saturday night. Super exciting Mitchell game winner with you guys, right? I was a little jealous. Had a little
journalism, baby.
Yeah, but I was like thinking about that game, and they're playing Giannis. He's having a great game, and I was thinking back to all the games they played this year. And it seems like every game they played against someone that was in the Olympics for like another country other than the United States. But the Cavs don't have that. I know Luke Travers played a couple minutes tonight, but like of their top 12, 13 guys, they're all guys from the United States.
Yeah.
So like my theory that I want to get going here is, are the Cavs Team USA of the NBA? Or put it better, are the Cleveland Cavaliers America's teams? Your thoughts?
Yep.
I love we're America's team.
Yeah.
I love taking it from the Cowboys. Hell yeah.
The Cavs are America's team. I'm telling you, and anyone out there that loves hoops but doesn't have a team, come get on the Cavs bandwagon because it's filling up quick.
Yes, it is. Very. I'm with
man.
You. That's a really fun one. I like that.
I love that. Luke Travers, by the way, 3 minutes, 3 fouls. He is our Australian enforcer out there.
He is nothing if not efficient.
Yes. Yeah. So Luke Travers and JT Thor was on South Sudan, obviously. So
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think he's already back. I think he's already with the charge.
I'm pretty sure I saw that he is, and I'm sure Luke will be joining him pretty soon.
Yeah, they start Friday, the opening cup before the Winter Showcase.
Nice.
Nice.
So keep an eye on that. We'll maybe Wednesday we'll do a little charge preview.
My other question for you guys, a little brainstorming session. Maybe we brainstorm and then bring it back next episode. Ty Jerome needs a nickname. And you guys are even bigger friends of him. I mean, the perfect nickname for him would be Slow-Mo if Kyle Anderson didn't already own it.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like Ty Jerome is the type of guy and such a unique player, kind of almost like odd player, for being honest, that he needs a nickname. And if nobody else is going to find one for him, I'm putting on us to find a good one for him.
All right. Well, that needs to be our social media clip this week. Help us give Ty Jerome a nickname. Let's tag Ty Jerome in it, just so he knows he's got the BSS pod are big fans. Can we even use that? Is that against the rules because of the BS pod?
Nah, we got an extra S. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and let's turn the page and get ready for Wednesday as the Cavs have a 1-game road trip down to Orleans to face the New Orleans Pelicans, who are beating the hell out of already. So before we even get into the preview of the game, Trey Murphy out, DeJounte Murray out, CJ McCollum out, Herb Jones out, Zion Williamson day to day, Jordan Hawkins
Christmas
day to day. I haven't seen what their box score looks like tonight because
they just started.
Okay, so they're starting 5 tonight. They're up 4-0 on Portland, but their starting 5 tonight is Ingram, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Yves Missy, Brandon Boston Jr., and Jose Alvarado. That's an NBA team taking the floor tonight, guys, in a regular season game.
I did not know Jose Alvarado is still in the league. I'll be honest.
There was a half dozen Olympic teams that had more NBA players.
Yes, there was. Daniel Tice is on this bench. Javonte Green, Jamal Cain. Jamal Cain's in the NBA. Holy crap. I didn't realize that. But if that's what Wednesday is going to look like, I assume hopefully I would love to have Williams be back by then. He's had a really good year so far, and we obviously know what the story is with him every week. Would like to see New Orleans have him back for that game. Makes you feel a little better if the Cavs would go in there and take care of business. But if not, and they can take advantage to get their 9th straight win, you obviously will take that as well. But this is a New Orleans team who, even when healthy, it's kind of that team we've been all as basketball fans waiting to take that next step. Ton of talented dudes, ton of guys who maybe none of them are like the top guy on a championship team, but guys you could see being part of a successful playoff team making a run. But I feel like this is another game where the Cavs match up very well. I don't think Jarrett Allen is losing sleep on the way to New Orleans over Yves Missy. So again, anything can happen. It's the NBA. Obviously, I mean, when you said Giannis wasn't playing tonight, you didn't think the Cavs were only going to win by 2. But interesting matchup on a one-day road trip. So pretty dynamic situation.
Yeah, and this is the NBA though. Like teams playing without their best player, couple of their best players win all the time. And one, because there's so much talent in the league. 2, because I do think some teams naturally let up a little bit when their opponent is missing a couple of guys. I don't know if that was really the case tonight. I actually thought the Bucks just played really well for parts of the game. So I'm hoping, and I also, we speculated about that when the Cavs played the Magic right after Banchero got hurt, but they took care of business then. So the hope is that they don't do that, but like you can't take any game in the NBA lightly, or, it's not going to go your way.
Yeah, pretty much. You gotta win the games on your schedule. Doesn't matter who's on the floor. You got to win the games. But you do feel good about their odds for New Orleans if this is the lineup coming out there. And I feel like they're a team that kind of got the same treatment as the Cavs in the offseason. Everybody speculated they're going to get rid of Brandon Ingram. They're going to get rid of
Brandon Ingram McCollum was supposed to be a Cavalier, remember?
So they had the same treatment as us. So I think they're another team that's kind of betting on the longer we keep these guys together, the better they'll get and hopefully take the next step. Seems like Colby Altman is blazing a path for everybody here.
Yeah. So if they do in fact win on Wednesday, That is the longest win streak to start a season in franchise history.
Wow. Yeah.
Take that, LeBron.
Yeah.
What's the NBA record?
No,
Warriors-
it's like 26.
They got ways to
I was
go.
gonna say.
The
No,
Warriors
because
started
that
that year.
2016 Warriors team.
Was it
wasn't
the Warrior? Did the Warriors break it? I remember the Heat when LeBron was with them.
Yeah, that's the longest regular in a season. The Warriors had the most to start a season.
To start a season. Okay. Yeah, because the Heat was at like 22, played in Chicago. I was at the game, and Chicago snapped the streak. Beat them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Someone recently, not too long ago, had a 20 in a row. Like 2 years ago. I can't remember. Sydney's here. She'll tell us.
No, let's not
Yeah.
not get ahead of our skis. Let's just go get number 9.
Yeah, let's go get number 9 in New Orleans. Want to make sure we mention one thing before we get out of here. Did you see the Bucks covered up the so the Cavs always do the thing for the visiting team where there's former players, people from Ohio, XYZ. They'll put a sign up that says like "Welcome back," and it's a screen that they have outside the visiting locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee covered it up because they didn't want their players to feel welcome.
I didn't see that.
That's such a weird Doc Rivers like tactic.
Yeah.
I'm suspecting Darvin Ham came up with that one.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Darvin Ham's on their coaching staff.
Yeah,
that's
pretty lame.
Funny. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, making too big a deal about something that's really absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, Torian Prince played for the Cavs for half a year. Let's calm down, guys. So
Right.
Yeah, that's like weird, like baseball manager-y type thing right there. Like, this will fire my guys up.
Totally. That's a great call. That is so much more of like a weird baseball thing than a basketball thing.
Yeah, it is. But hey, guys, I think we can go ahead and wrap up this edition of the Block, the Shot, the Stop. Thank you guys for hanging out and with us as always as we are celebrating this team. What an unbelievable start to the year. This has been a blast. What a year to start a Cavs show, guys. Like, could we have picked a better year to do this? Like, as always, make sure you're subscribing to us on YouTube. We are definitely noticing the jump in listens of late, and we are super appreciative that people are spreading the word. Your podcast app of choice, make sure you give us a subscription there and a review. Helps us out so much against Lord Algae Rhythm. And of course, bsspod.com. Look for some solid updates soon. Some things coming your way that we're really excited about. We're not going to spoil anything just yet. But on behalf of Skylar Webker, on behalf of Kevin Lynch, this is Tim Daniel. Have a good night, and we'll see you Wednesday.
Go Cavs.